TrendOne developed a picture of the future to outline how virtual events will look like in 2030. Today, CEO of TrendOne Nils Müller and Innovation Advisor Anika Hamester will give you an insight on the future of virtual events. The virtual alternatives to physical meetings that were conceived as a result of the corona crisis will remain an option in the future. Whether digital solutions for remote office collaboration, virtual conferences, or educational offerings, many of these offerings have proven to be high performance and suitable for everyday use. Especially in the area of remote work, the era of the forced home office has proven to be a comprehensive usability test of all virtual applications. The informal exchange among colleagues must also be recreated virtually in order to maintain communication and creative processes. Although virtual conferences are more difficult for networking, they are an efficient solution for professional exchange that also makes sense in terms of sustainability and inclusion. Schools and universities also had to excel in the education sector during the corona crisis with alternative solutions. Virtual lectures and digital self-learning offers will have a positive influence on teaching in the long run and make studies more flexible and inclusive. Teachers can draw from a broader portfolio of possibilities for knowledge transfer and, above all, make standard content permanently available. Entertainment offers such as concerts become scalable through virtual offers all at once. Unlike on-demand content, it is precisely the real-time transmission of content that creates an intense experience for the audience. Augmented and virtual reality solutions, in particular, create an even more intense sense of community with avatars and environments that can be played in together.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on our session on the future of virtual events. It's such an exciting topic, and I'm super happy to be here with you and my colleague Anika. Good morning, Anika.
Yes, good morning. I'm super happy to be here too to talk with you about the virtual events, because really a lot of exciting things have been happening the last months.
I mean, it's also about the intersection between like on-site and online event, what we call hybrid events, and that makes it even more exciting and complicated also to have online and on-site participants, and that's also a big part of today we will talk about. But before we start, we want to say really putting a lot of effort to creating this picture of the future, we did a huge workshop with experts around the globe, with Professor Lauritz Lipp, with Professor Eric Jenot from University Europe, with Annalie Killian from Sparks and Honey, New York. She did a great contribution. We had a great Master of Ceremony, Johannes from Berlin, Journey to Creation, together with his colleague Catherine Schröter, and she's an expert in AI and user-centric experiences, which is, I mean, it's all about the customer experience in virtual events, either online and also on-site. And we also had Raphael Gillian, you might know from Vitra, and he's a huge expert on the future of experience, the future of work, because, I mean, also virtual events in B2B context has a lot to do with the future of work. So what I want to say, we did a lot of work to prepare this. We involved a lot of experts. This is not only a TrendOne work, and also my colleague Sebastian was involved, because the future of virtual events has nothing to do with just copying the real world into the digital world. I mean, maybe you remember the first cars were looking like horse coaches, yeah? So they copied like Pferdekutschen to become cars, and that was the first like innovation step, and that's happening now with events as well. So what we are doing, we try to copy the real world of events into the digital space, and this should not be the case. It's not about to build a stage, having an audience there with avatar style. No, I think we have to invent something really new, something like a mixed reality, blended reality setting, something which also relates to the gaming industry with AI, also with virtual reality, wearables, So there are a lot of opportunities in front of us, and we really need to catch up now because virtual events are more and more important. We now see it during the crisis where we all miss this event experience, and we don't want to have the Zoom events anymore. We want to have something new where we really engage also on an emotional level, and I think this is sometimes a bit missing the inspirational power of a real event, the emotional power, the networking, the serendipity also. So let us not think about to copy the real in the digital space. It's all about to make events awesome, right? That's the first point. We want to have awesome, emotional, inspiring experiences, and this especially becomes true when we talk about the intersection between real and virtual worlds. So it's really to build the best experience between physical and virtual space. But the question is anyway, and Raphael from Vitra raised this question, and I think this is a known quote from Raphael. The question is, what in the future will remain from the physical world? So what we see now in workplaces, when we ask the question, will you work in the office or home? At the moment we get more than 70% of people saying, maybe 1 or 2 days I will be in the office, but the rest of the time I will be somewhere else. Maybe work and travel, it's a nice model. Maybe work from home, maybe work from co-working spaces. So the people are not in the physical space so much anymore. So the question is, what will remain in the future? Anyhow, in work and events from the physical world. And what we see is, in our experience, because we did a lot of virtual events in the last months, obviously, it's a huge opportunity. You know, we don't have to travel so much. We can save our environment, we save our time contingent because we can be very effective and productive. As an organizer, you save a lot of cost. You don't need this huge locations, you don't need the catering and get all the people there and the speakers. You also get brilliant speakers at the moment because all the CEOs sitting there somewhere in the world, you usually don't get to your conference, let's say in Brussels, because they have to travel over the Atlantic or Pacific Ocean. Now you just say, come join us in a Zoom session, and he's just there for 1 effective hour where he can present his visions and companies. So this is also a huge opportunity to what we have in this new space. And we are, as transporters, we are very happy that this is coming now so quick, because a lot of our goals to build a better future, to build a more sustainable future, is happening exactly now. So we see a lot of advantages, and let me just show 6 of them. And the first advantage is reach, because actually you're not limited in space. You can build a hybrid event with maybe 1,000 people on site, which is allowed maybe during Corona times, or 100. We do now in Copenhagen or in Vienna, and in Zurich we have 100. That's fine. Plus the online audience. This actually can be unlimited. On our virtual event platform at the moment, we can host 5,000 people. So as an organizer, you can have much more reach. As a participant, you can have much more networking there. So reach is one big advantage we are having now. Sustainability obviously is the second advantage. We don't need to carry, we save emissions, we also save food, catering, everything is very effective and very sustainable. And we have a high performance. We really have multi-locations, so you can have speaker from everywhere, participants from everywhere. The event is hosted in the cloud. You can have unlimited people, you can have 100 speakers from all over the world. And this is also this matchmaking makes more sense, because when you have more people, more speakers, more participants, you can use AI to really matchmake the people and bring the right people together, the right topics to the right people. We can have imagining AI matchmaking events. So the AI knows your interests from maybe LinkedIn and will matchmake you to the right events with the right people. So this is a huge opportunity, and so high performance and customer relation, because when we have more people in the digital space, they are part of the digital customer journey. So when you are the organizer, you already have them in the digital customer journey, and you don't break with a physical event. It's all digital. You have their names, you see their interest, where they participate in, and that's actually the next point, it's measurability. On a physical event, you don't know so good, you have maybe the tracking opportunities in the space, in the physical event, but in the online event, you have 100% measurability. We can really see where are the people in what presentation, in what workshop, who's doing networking, who's talking to the speakers, so you can measure everything, how long do they stay, what are they interested in, and you have it all in your CRM afterwards. So tracking and measurability is really also in the digital customer journey a great opportunity. And inclusion also relates to reach, because imagine you're sitting somewhere in Africa and there is a great conference, let's say in Oxford, and usually you could never afford to travel there, but now you can just participate. So we have people from all over the world can participate. Of course, the time zone is a thing. Now we have a conference 24-hour around the globe, and so every time zone is included, and everyone is included. So we have so great advantages. We also always should remember when we talk about virtual events. Yeah. But what is the big picture? I mean, we were building a picture of the future for virtual events as TrendOne and with all the experts. What is the big picture, Anika?
Right. So let's have a look at the big picture. In the past months, we had a lot of virtual events happening, and it's really great to see that you can apply it in really any field. So, for example, in the field of education or business, we had virtual conferences and virtual seminars, but also in the field of entertainment, there are basically no limits. So you could implement virtual festivals, virtual concerts, and virtual exhibitions. We had a look at the different types of virtual events and classified them into 5 levels. Also to have a look how they will be in the future. So if you look at this chart, so on level 0, you still have the physical event with a digital service. So you have a physical exhibition, for example, and then you have an app that comes with it that you can use to download information or to see the app of the map of the exhibition, for example. Then on level 1, you have the virtual conferencing events. So probably all of us are experiencing those right now, probably over Zoom or Teams, but of course there are also a lot of other companies who focused on these. But of course still this is kind of a bit basic still. Then on the second level we have the online event platforms. So we at TrendOne, we developed our own online event platform on which you can have a live stream with different speakers, the participants can interact with each other, and you also have a virtual exhibition hall where you can visit the booths and speak to experts. Then on the third level, which will come very soon, I think, you have the hybrid event, which combines both the online and the on-site event. So you have people who are there in person, who see the speakers in person and can communicate with each other, can interact. And then you also have the online participants. So for people for whom it was maybe inconvenient to attend in person, you just attend online. But the important thing about that is that you have to create the same experience, or optimize the experience for both of these groups, and you have to connect them. So the people who are attending in person need to be able to interact also with the people online. They can network, they can communicate. So level 4 is really next level, because then we come to the virtual immersive events. So we are taking all 5 human senses into the virtual events to create a really big, unique experience for all participants. So at the moment, of course, we are basically only focusing on hearing and on sight, but then there's also smell coming, there's taste coming, there's touch coming, and that will be really a big next step to create a really exciting virtual event. And level 5 is basically the level of excellence. On this level, we are able to leverage the full virtual event potential. We can choose what kind of what type of event, virtual event we want to do, like what suits our event best. And we can also decide which technology suits us best in our event to create the greatest benefit for us, our clients, and all of the participants, for example, of course. Okay, so in the last months, we have seen a lot of exciting examples. So we put together some best practices. So starting in the field of entertainment, the company Epic Games is a really big player when it comes to virtual events. They cooperated on their online game Fortnite, which is also super popular, with the DJ Marshmallow, who did a live set for 10 minutes. This was the first event of its kind online, a virtual concert, and it attracted over 10 million gamers. So it was super successful, and as it was also streamed on Twitch and on YouTube simultaneously, which has until now 48 million views. So you can see that the demand is really there. Because the event was so successful, they also cooperated with a lot of other US American artists, for example the rappers Travis Scott and Kid Cudi, who also did a concert where 12.3 million people attended. For Fortnite, I think it's really neat that they include also a lot of features into the game. Like they really integrate the concert into the game, because you also have features like buying costumes for the concert or buying dances. So I think that's a really exciting project they've done. Fortnite has also organized an in-game party, so they built an experimental, still evolving space in the Fortnite universe, which is basically there for socializing and having fun. So you're it's kind of a little bubble in the Fortnite game. So the gamers can just go there, socialize with friends, also listen to music, to concerts. They can have a virtual barbecue, they can virtually skydive, and do all of these things just virtually. But these things don't only come from the USA, but there's also a lot of things happening in Germany. For example, the small group of Berlin-based artists cooperated with the agency Invisible Hands, and they created a virtual club on Zoom. They wanted to create a really realistic experience for the clubbers, for the visitors. So when you wanted to log into the Zoom club, you actually had to wait in a queue and wait for the bouncer to let you in. Then you had to answer a little quiz, and then you could enter the virtual club, where you had a dance floor with live DJ sets. You saw the other people dancing on the videos, and then you had a bar where you could donate to different NGOs, and then you also had a chat where you could connect with other visitors. Coming to best practice in business, to virtual conference to be exact, we implemented DCamp in July with the Telekom and the German BVMW. DCamp was a virtual conference which consisted of a live stream with over 10 different speakers. These speakers were in different locations in Germany, and we streamed them via green screen and our software here in our studio in Hamburg on the virtual stage. So here, for example, you can see the CEOs of Telekom and BVMW having a little coffee talk in the morning as a kickoff of the event. Below the live stream, the participants were able to connect with each other, to comment on the keynotes, and it was really exciting to see what kind of different input and insights they gave, and what kind of different keynotes we could integrate onto the virtual platform. The platform also consisted of a virtual exhibition hall where the visitors could go, talk to experts about a certain topic via live chat or video chat. and download information, watch movies, and we also even had a networking area where you could see who was participating in the event and you could connect with them. We got a really great resonance from the participants, and it was a really successful event with over 10,000 participants and over 15,000 streams. So if you're interested in our virtual events, you can scan this QR code. With an iPhone, you can just use your camera app, and with an Android, you have to download an app called Lens, or use the app Lens. But below you can also see the URL, so you can find more information about that there. Coming to best practice in education, I think a really great example is this company. It's called Induvo, and they are creating virtual and augmented cases to learn, to train your employees. So you sit together with your consultants, you do these cases together, create these cases together, and if they're done, you can upload them on a platform online, and your employees can choose which training they want to get, how they want to upskill, which skills they want to improve. And they can all do it in their own pace, and I think that's a really nice thing to implement in these times. Also, the Chinese-British University Xiao-Jiangtong Liverpool University works on a virtual learning platform. So they provide their students with VR headsets with which they are able to attend virtual lectures, virtual seminars, or practical lessons. The goal of this is to create an innovation hub with all kinds of scientific knowledge that the students can access, and it's also open to private institutes and universities, private institutes and companies, to also share their materials to the students. And then the students can also, in their own pace, see what they want to study or learn, which skills they want to improve, and just access the information. And of course, also Facebook gave us an insight of what they're working on at the moment. They published this video, and you see that they're working on virtual office surroundings. So in the video, you can see different kinds of virtual screens. So you can have more than one screen, and so you can see the video here again. So you can have more than one screen, you can pull and push them wherever you want them, you can zoom in, you also have a virtual keyboard, and of course these kind of virtual office surroundings would make it a lot more comfortable to work from home, also in tight spaces. So now we're back to Nils. Please give us an insight on the future outlook for the virtual events.
First of all, thank you, Anika. It's such inspiring cases, especially like the club in Berlin, the Zoom club. I think I try to go there, and also the in-game parties. I mean, when you want to have a future outlook, so when you want to anticipate the future, of course you can look at the Trend Explorer, right? You can see all the trends in the trend database, but you can also look at your kids. So how do your kids interact with media at the moment? And maybe you have kids, and sometimes you look what are they doing there, and you see, okay, they're in they're in Roblox, they're in Fortnite. So they grow up in the virtual world, like we did with telly or telephone in our generation. They grow up, and you with social media. For you, this is an organic part of your life, right? And for me, television is an organic part of my life. And for my kids, it's e-gaming is an organic part. So when we look and try to anticipate the future, look in the global trend databases and see what's happening there, and look at your kids, what their behavior is. So first of all, when we consider virtual events of the future and hybrid events, let's consider e-gaming and go deeper into this. And this is also true for business leaders, because I think most of them don't have a clue what's happening in virtual gaming worlds. So we have to educate them on this. Second is mixed reality. Everybody was wearing kind of headsets in the last years, but what is really in there, what is the latest cases happening, because Oculus Quest now really has a huge opportunities of getting into the virtual world. So this is also true for wearables. I mean, there are so many wearables can give you like contact, interaction, and also brain-computer interfaces where we can control our experience, where we can give emotional feedback. And we saw in Anika's case a lot of emotional trends where we really see, okay, this is also triggering the emotions of the people. So brain-computer interfaces can measure the emotions, can use to be control. And 5-sense immersion, I think you already mentioned, we don't just get inside with audio and video, we also get with tangible. We already have these gloves where you can feel the things, where you can smell the things, and you can and also touch, smell. All senses should be involved, and we have some holodecks already tested where you can be in the conference with all your senses. So 5-sense immersion, gamification, of course, to make it more funny, to also chat roulette the people together. This is a nice format. Imagine you have 500 participants in an online space, and they don't need so much like serendipity happening in real world, but now you can chat roulette them like 5 minutes for each of the people, matchmaking them together, and you can use AI to build the smart networking to bring the right people together, which is even better than serendipity on a real conference. Live streaming communities, we see this now with audio communities. You should check the app Clubhouse, which is still in beta modus, but this is the new audio social network when I would invest in, because this is definitely the next big thing, following up podcasts and bringing together social networks. This is an audio social network. It's huge things. And holoboxes are already explained, so you enter a box, you are in a 5-sense immersion, and yeah, volumetric capturing, like Kinect capturing people and speakers with all their motions and emotions and bring them with gesture and everything in the virtual space. But I mean, these are all kind of new technologies. What can we do to get there? And I already mentioned education. We have to educate our people. We have to test this out. We need this now in the innovation and user experience labs to really see, okay, what can we build next year in VR events? What can we do next year with all these technologies around to build better experiences? Because Zoom, as you see on the 5 stages of Anika, will not be the final level. There will be new levels of virtual experiences. We have to invest into these technologies, because technology is not everything, but technology enables us to build better experiences and advanced user experiences. And yeah, we need business models. I mean, usually as a conference organizer, you make your business model because you invite people, they pay $1,000 a day to come to the conference, you pay the speaker, so you have a clear business model. But this is totally changing now, because there are also new actors. Like TrendOne, we were never an event organizer because we were just speaker and bringing content to conferences. But suddenly now, with our online platform, what you see at the Telecom Digital Camp, we are kind of an event organizer where we host events, not on a physical space, but on our servers in the cloud. So roles are changing, and we need to find new business models, because also in the digital space, people pay less, but you can have more people in. So this is changing a lot, and we have to think about the business models. And yeah, we should use the Corona power now, the COVID power, to innovate, because this is it's like a catalyst for innovation, giving us the right push to do it now. So yeah, that's what I mentioned in the beginning. We didn't do this picture of the future alone. There's a big study behind this. We have a lot of material behind it. We have hundreds of cases around the globe. Already players and startups and companies already doing the next version of virtual events. We were building it together with our experts. First of all, Sebastian, our head of inspiration, Professor Janot, and Professor Laurens Lipp, you see there, both from University of Europe. Professor Eric Janot is for gaming, and Laurens Lipp is for user experiences. Raphael Gilgen from Vitra, close to Basel in Weil am Rhein, and he's really expert in the future of work. So talk to him. Talk also to Annalie Killian from New York. She's at Sparks and Honey, a consumer insight agency, great company, and Annalie is always like a great person to talk to about the future of experiences. And Kathleen, of course, from Journey to Creation, she worked a long time for Fraunhofer in user experiences and AI. She brought in a lot of this content you saw in the presentation, and of course thank you to Johannes to be host of our Picture of the Future session. And last but not least, thank you Anika for bringing in all these trend cases and putting it all together. So happy that we now have a format to present it to like 250 people in the online experience. So you see, usually we would invite the people to Hamburg, maybe 20 would come here, but now we have 250. So we see the advantages of also like easy-made virtual events like this one, but you are always in our studio here doing all the setups. I want to say thank you for building such a nice online experience. I hope you also enjoyed. When you have questions, come to Anika, you see her email address. We are also on LinkedIn. Come to me, get connected with TrendOne. We can connect you also to the other experts. And when you have questions, just come in the chat, write in the mail. Thank you very much for joining the online session, and yeah, have a great day. Bye-bye. You can download everything, yeah? TrendOne.com, VE, all charts. Don't miss the download. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.